Ghana entered the room where Siro, Emiya, Ilya, Soichiro, Medea, Bazett, Skaha, and Hassan were waiting for him. Artoria and Mordred currently are talking somewhere.
What happened to Sakura? I healed her wounds. Sakura is okay now.
So, what's our next move?
Tonight, I'm going to meet with Kirei Kotomine, the priest you encountered at the church, Siro.
I object to this. Why do you want to meet him? You yourself told me to stay away from him. Why change your mind now? All 7 masters, excluding Zoken, are already here. There's no need to involve him.
I have some unresolved matters with that cosplay priest, Big Sister.
Don't big sister me, as if it'll change anything. I still object to this.
Big Sister, that man is cunning. We can't afford to let Kirei embark on his villain arc when we are trying to stop this holy grail.
If he manages to kill me in your original world, what makes you think you can survive for what the Lord knows he is about to do with you?
Big Sister, I've fought Seal before. Kirei doesn't pose a threat to me.
It was in the past. Look at you now. Since you are activating those scrolls, your body becomes weaker and weaker. God, please, why you are so stubborn? I am your big sister, please listen to me.
Big Sister.
Sorry for interrupting your quality time, but instead of going alone, why not invite us to accompany you? Skaha is right. If you insist on going, then I'll be by your side. No exceptions.
But, Big Sister.
Bazett steps closer to Ghana, firmly grasping his collar.
Big Sister says, no exception. Besides, what kind of unresolved matters do you have with Kirei?
A corrupted soul pretending to be a priest. I want him to not pose a threat to anyone or anything. I want him to take responsibility for what he has done. Plus, he's got something he's been itching to get from me ever since those executors tried to take me out back in Indonesia.
What is it?
He wants to be useless. Well, he is useless already, but this time like a real useless.
Bazett regarded Ghana seriously. Bazett didn't know what her little brother was about to do, but she tried to trust him. After a moment, she nodded to Skaha, indicating that they would accompany Ghana tonight. Bazett then firmly gripped Ghana's shoulder.
I don't remember you being this strong-willed, as if my little sweetheart has grown up. I'll come too. Are you coming, brother?
Well, I'm not used to being called brother, but yes, I'll come along.
Ilya looked at Soichiro, and he nodded in agreement, signifying that he would join them as well. At that moment, Rin and Sakura appeared at the door, wearing happy and confident expressions.
I'll be coming too. I want to see what this phony priest has to say after meeting you. I'll come too, with Big Sister.
Then it is my responsibility to look out for my students. Thank you, everyone. I'm grateful. I am confident that we can save this world from the Holy Grail War once and for all. I apologize if my master cannot come along. Yes, Hassan, I know.
After a long talk and everyone agreeing to help, Ghana looking for Mordred and found her outside, leaning against the wall and talking to Artoria. He approached them both.
Darling. Artoria.
I was just finishing up a conversation with Mordred. She has changed a lot since the last time I remember. She is more mature. Father, not in front of Ghana.
Artoria chuckled, amused by Mordred's blushing and her attempts to hide her shyness in front of Ghana.
By the way, I agreed to help you because of my master, Siro. If everything goes wrong, I will claim the Holy Grail to fulfill my own dream.
I understand. I will ensure that opportunity never arises.
Mordred, could you please step a bit further aside? There is something important I want to ask your boyfriend. Really? Can't I be included? Mordred. Fine, fine. Since father is the one who asks me.
Mordred goes to the nearby wall and examines the thickness.
The first I laid my eyes on you, memories from another life flooded my mind. Shortly after my battle with King of Heroes, you approached me in Siro, posing as a civilian. You placed your hand on my shoulder, and then my past started replaying over and over. I was yearning for suicide. Then, I felt an overwhelming romantic attraction to you, and I willingly gave my life to you. Does my memory speak the truth?
Yes.
Could you tell me the whole story? I recognize you, but it is clouded.
You are the last servant alive. In order to know the Grail's location, I have to eliminate you. By using Perfect Infinity Scroll, I put my intention for you to commit suicide, but somehow you remain silent and still for an entire 2 hours. Since time in the Perfect Infinity effect is millions of times faster, I take an assumption that you are trapped in the loop, somehow. But I believe because of your scabbard, Avalon. So I used the second Perfect Infinity Scroll with the intention for you to be extremely deep in love with me and obey me. Then the scroll took effect immediately. After that, I asked you to take your own life for my sake.
You say what? Love? Didn't you say you summoned Mordred and became lovers in the previous world? What about Mordred?
I left her in the hotel. She wasn't present when I confronted you.
And Zero?
I beat him and sent him to the hospital.
But why do you have to put such intention towards me?
To make sure the result would be 100%, even though I turn away when you behead yourself.
Why don't you use that perfect reveal scroll to know the Grail's location? Why do you have to kill me?
I need to be wise on what scroll I must use because my enemy is the Jinn. Perfect Infinity is useless against Ifrit or any stronger Jinn. Did you sense familiarity with me?
Yes, an overwhelming feeling, difficult to describe.
I see. Mordred experienced the same sensation, but it took time and certain events to trigger her memory. You, however, it's because you're not yet dead, Artoria.
Perhaps, but one thing is for sure, now I know that I hate you, Ghana. You are a scholar, then tell me, how all of this experience become possible?
I assume that Avalon exists outside of this realm but is still bound to the first layer of heaven. The time and space didn't apply in Avalon. That is why you remember every single scenario that happens across different worlds. My presence just happened to jog your memories. You are still alive and the current you are in Avalon. Your data is engraved in the throne of heroes, but your soul isn't kept in that realm.
Then why you didn't kill me yourself? Why force me to love you and make me commit suicide?
I can't bring myself to do it. Your face, your figure, reminds me of Mordred. I wish Gilgamesh was the last one standing, it would make my job a lot easier.
Oi, are you two finished? Now I am getting suspicious. I'll be looking out at the others now.
Artoria went inside, leaving Ghana and Mordred alone in the yard. Suddenly, Mordred playfully kicked Ghana's leg, blushing even more.
Hey, thanks for summoning me to this world and choosing me. I finally have the chance to meet my father and clear the air. Thank you.
You're welcome, darling.
Ghana walked to a nearby spot in the yard and sat down, with Mordred following him closely. She sat right next to Ghana and clung to his arm.
I'm sorry for being hard on you earlier. I know you want to save that woman, but I want you to stay safe and healthy.
I know, I'm sorry too for being selfish.
Honey?
Yes, darling?
I love you.
Wow, that's quite romantic. Declaring your love when Berserker is nearby, acting like he doesn't care.
Berserker grunted in response.
Ha ha ha, I didn't mean to ruin the moment, silly. I just couldn't hold back my feelings, it's not my style to be so sentimental.
Darling, I promise that fate will not repeat itself in this singularity.
Honey, I will be your Clarent, I will be your sword.
And I will be your shield.
Mordred chuckled softly.
If I'm the sword and you're the shield, who will wield them?
I don't know, maybe Berserker.
Berserker growled in annoyance, causing Mordred to burst into laughter.
Honey, you never fail to make me laugh.
I'll take that as a compliment.